how much schedules of reinforcement affect my life until like probably last year. So we're gonna talk about it so you don't sleep on schedules of reinforcement. Schedules of reinforcement are basically a rule as to when reinforcement will be delivered. And as you can see, some of them are stronger than others. Some terms to know are that variable means average, fixed means that it stays the same, interval means that it's time-based, and ratio means that it's response-based. Stick around for the next few videos because I'm definitely going to need a minute per schedule. Variable ratio is the strongest schedule of reinforcement. She is that schedule of reinforcement. She keeps the behavior going. So this means that the person is reinforced an average amount of responses. This is what makes gambling so addictive, is that you win sometimes. So you might go on the slot machine for 5 turns, nothing. 16 turns, you win a little bit. It's so addicting, you just won a little bit. I also think about this with finding shortcuts when I'm driving, because sometimes I'll find a shortcut that worked one time and then it doesn't work for another 4 times because of traffic. But then after 8 times, it does work. And I'm like, oh, I should just go this way because it does work sometimes, and sometimes it's the best shortcut. That's a variable ratio. Now let's talk about fixed ratio schedules of reinforcement. This one's pretty easy. Fixed stays the same. Ratio is based on responses. So the ratio stays the same. So let's say that I want something to eat and I go to a vending machine, I put $1 in, out comes some chips. The ratio would be a fixed ratio of 1. 1 response, me putting the $1 into the vending machine, and then the reinforcement, out coming the chips. We all have that friend who just has this trash ex-boyfriend that they keep going back to, even though they are literally the embodiment of Venus herself. So hey, let's maybe not do that and think about the schedule of reinforcement here. I'm thinking of a situation where the ex straight up ghosts the friend, and after 2 weeks, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, they send that little check-in text where they're like, hey, been thinking about you. Oh, hey, I miss you. And then the girl's like, oh my God, Brad just texted me. And they go back to them. This is a variable interval. It's an average time-based schedule of reinforcement. Don't do it. Okay, last schedule. If you've stuck around this long, I sure do appreciate you. Let's talk fixed interval schedules of reinforcement. So fixed, meaning that it stays the same. Interval, it's time-based. So what I like to think about with fixed interval schedules of reinforcement is getting a paycheck. So you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, maybe weekly. I just started getting it weekly. It's so freaking nice to get paid weekly again. So fixed, you get paid the same amount of time, weekly or bi-weekly. With fixed intervals, there's also some post-reinforcement pause, whereas you can see it scallops, like it does these little lines where the response rate goes down a little bit and then goes back up. So like on Fridays when you've just gotten paid, are you that motivated to work that day? Hey, happy Halloween! Today I'm going to be talking about something that's pretty scary for any ABA student, and that is compound schedules of reinforcement. The first step to getting these schedules down is writing them out in different colors so that you can see the differences more clearly. I recommend this for any ABA concept. These were one of my least favorite things to learn, but we are going to get through it. So stay tuned to the next few videos because I am going to need about a minute per schedule. All right, I took my glasses off because they were really bugging me. But the first schedule that we're going to go over is concurrent schedules of reinforcement. These types of compound schedules have 2 behaviors and a possible SD or Q that the schedule is going to happen. These types of schedules involve something called matching law, which basically states that behavior is going to go where the reinforcement flows. So, for example, tonight I could either go carve pumpkins with my roommates, or I could sit in my room and watch scary movies with my cats and eat candy. Those two behavior options are going to have different schedules of reinforcement associated with them. So I am most likely to do the behavior that results in the most reinforcement. Behavior goes where the reinforcement flows. The next thing I like to do with compound schedules of reinforcement is to group them. So next we're going to go over multiple schedules of reinforcement and mixed schedules of reinforcement. For these types of schedules, there's one or more behaviors and two or more schedules of reinforcement. So there might be a variable interval of 5 and a fixed ratio of 6 going on. These different schedules are presented in either a random order, an alternating order, or in a sequence for multiple and mixed schedules of reinforcement. The difference between multiple and mixed is that multiple has an SD for the change, and mixed, there's no SD for the schedule change for reinforcement. All right. Next, we have chained schedules of reinforcement and tandem schedules of reinforcement. These two compound schedules. What you need to know about these schedules is that unlike multiple and mixed schedules, these schedules of reinforcement occur in a specific order. They are the exact same as multiple and mixed, one or more behaviors, two or more schedules of reinforcement. With chained schedules of reinforcement, there is an SD. With tandem schedules of reinforcement, there is no SD. I have a hard time relating these specific schedules, multiple, mixed, chain, tandem, to everyday occasions. And boo! These schedules for me are so unrelatable. I have such a hard time relating them to any example. But what they could be related to are schedules for reinforcer assessments. Okay, so we are on part 5 already of these compound schedules of reinforcement. And the next schedules we are going to go over are conjunctive and alternative schedules of reinforcement. I could vibe with these schedules. I feel like these ones I could come up with some examples in real life. So what you need to know about these two types of schedules of compound reinforcement is that they focus on one behavior and that there is a possible SD. Alternative is either or. So let's say we have a schedule of a fixed interval of 30 minutes and an FR ratio of 1. So either you finish your math assignment or you sit and work for 30 minutes. After either one of those is complete, you get reinforcement, you get to go outside to recess. And I realize that I'm running out of time, so there's gonna be a part 6 on conjunctive schedules. Okie dokie, artichokey. We have our last schedule. Finally, we're done almost with compound schedules. We have conjunctive schedules of reinforcement. So for this type of schedule, both the ratio and the interval has to be met to get access to reinforcement. So as a program supervisor at an ABA company, I get out of work after I've worked 8 hours a day. I'm full-time and I have to work 8 hours a day. But I also have certain tasks I have to complete. I have to write my billable notes every single day, and that might be 5 billable notes that I have to write per day. And those types of notes need to be completed. They need to be completed right after you do them or within the day. So I will not get access to being off of work until I've met the ratio schedule for notes and the interval schedule for work hours.